Welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning into this video. My name is Carmen and my channel is all about the process of me building my own swimwear brand and just documenting the highs and lows, talking about what I've learned in business so far, sharing lookbooks, sharing behind the scenes footage of everything that I'm working on. This is very much a safe creative space, so if that's what you're interested in and that's what you're looking forward to, then you're in the right place, so welcome and thank you for tuning in again. Today, I'll be talking about some of the hardest things that I've learned in starting a brand. And there are so many things. To keep things concise, I'm going to talk about like three main things that have just been reoccurring, that come up almost all the time. Um, no matter where I think back or look back in my business journey, like I'm like, okay, yes, that is still something that is pretty relevant. So the first thing I'm going to start with is just time. Like when you're trying to start a business, when you're trying to start a brand, like there always feels like there isn't enough time. For me in particular, I already work a full-time job. And on top of that, and just like normal life and adulting and friends and, church or spiritual life or, community service or whatever you do in your free time is just you have to, it's like a must. You need to find time to work on your business and build your business, ideally every single day. And for me, it feels like I haven't gotten much sleep like the past 2 years. Like, yes, I've had time off, like yes, like there were like a few nights where I'm like, okay, I got a good night's sleep. But just overall, like the start and go, like, okay, 8 to 5, I'm at work, 5 to 9, I'm working on the business, or, you know, weekends, like, so say like that is like what I'm doing during the week. And then weekends, it's like basically all day, it's editing, it's like meeting with people, it's um, thinking of like creative ideas, thinking about business strategy, thinking about social media. Like literally, it's never ending, and it just feels more. Um, it just feels like so much more work and so much more pressure when you're trying to start something and you're already working full time. Um, so definitely time. It always feels like there isn't enough time, but hopefully as I launch my brand and move forward in this journey, I'll get better at it and it'll feel like, I'm getting some of my time back. So that's the first thing, time. It's a valuable resource. Don't waste your time. Second thing is definitely finances. For me, again, I am starting a swimwear brand, which I hope to also turn into like, I don't know if lifestyle is the best way to describe it, but I do want to go into other avenues of like fashion. I want to really go into like women's lingerie. I really am interested in doing children's clothes. So for me, that is very important. But right now, I'm starting on swimwear, and there is so much money that is required upfront to start any type of clothing business. Like, there's some people who, like, starting any business is expensive to an extent, but you might not need so much money up front, depending on the type of business. But for me, it's like if for clothing, it's like if you don't um, have a certain amount, it's very hard to start unless you like take out a loan or you have investors, like et cetera, et cetera. So for me, setting up my business for financial success and really my future for financial success, I planned years in advance for me to do this. Like and I will make a video in more in depth about my like financial entrepreneurship, not financial, my entrepreneurship journey, which includes my financial um, journey and like goals and stuff that I set. But basically, I first had to like pay off my student loans, and then I had to like save up a bunch of money. And then I started to really pour in financially exclusively into my business. So that is like years in the making. Um, and that's, I had the luxury to do that, and I was able to do that. Not everyone has that ability, but that is something that was important for me to make sure that I'm setting up my business for financial success and starting on the right foot. Um, so funding the business, that for me is my 9 to 5. So that's solely like my main way of being able to pay for like samples for, um, you know, promotions, lookbooks, like literally anything that I need for my business, is through working through my full-time job. So that means like staying on top of my job. That means I need to be employed. That means I need to stay employed. That means like, yeah, I have to make sure that I clock in and clock out. So that is the primary way I fund my business. Um, and I talked about how I need a lot of money up front. So I talked about that. And really the last thing, um, so time, finances, last thing is stepping out on faith and trusting the process. So for me, I believe that I work like hand in hand with God to like start my business. I believe that, without faith, this would be very hard for me to, go from level to level to level, because there are setbacks, which I've experienced. There are, hard times, there are stressful times. And without, faith, without God, without Jesus, it would be very, very hard for me to continue. Obviously, I'm grateful for all the mentors, all the support, all the people that I've had thus far that poured into my business, that poured into me. So it really is a community minded thing. So it really isn't just, and my point is, even if you aren't, a believer, even if you don't necessarily follow a particular faith, the point is that it makes it so much easier when you have a support system outside of yourself to help you to keep going. Um, and trusting the process. And when I mean trusting the process, it goes into what I said before about just trusting the timeline of the business and through the highs and lows. Like there are times where I'm like, okay, wow, like there's no way this business is going to take off more than just it being like in my little like sketchbook, more than it just being like, you know, photos in my camera roll. Like, it's very easy to get discouraged building a business, especially, and at least in my experience, building a clothing brand, a swimwear brand. Um, but without the process of like, okay, trusting the process, like, yes, I thought I'd launch, before the summertime, but, we're basically in the middle of the summer and, haven't launched because of different circumstances. Like that is something that it's like, okay, well, you have to keep moving forward, because what's the other option? Just to stop, like, because you didn't launch ideally like when you thought you would launch. Like, yeah. So it takes a lot of grit, it takes a lot of trust in the process, in the midst of delay, in the midst of life, in the midst of working. Um, so those are really the top three things that um, have been hard in balancing, starting a business and moving forward in my business. But I believe like once I continue, once I get more experience, once like the months, the years go by, um, it won't feel as hard, because it's like, okay, well, I've experienced that. Like, yeah, there was a time where like I felt like there was no money, but hey, here we are. So thank you so much for tuning in to my video. Um, Definitely stay tuned for, my summer lookbook for the spring summer season, and other exciting things I have going on in the channel. All right, bye.